Hello everyone, Phoenix Knight here. Welcome to the channel, and welcome back to the 2009-10 hockey season replay. Block 17 brings us into Saturday morning hockey as I just started the chicken marinating for Mystical Munchies. We're at the Honda Center today as the Ottawa Senators are in town to visit the Anaheim Ducks. We're starting this one in the third period, tied at 2, with the Ducks on the power play. The Senators having taken a penalty. I'm just getting notes on, here we go. Eric Carlson is serving a penalty for tripping in starting the third period. So, we are all set, and what say we jump right in as the fans are here at the Honda Center already. Face-offs right now are +2 to Anaheim. That'll pull it over to Whitney for the home team, and we're off to start the third period. That'll get passed up to Beliski. Interception of the right wing and right D's defense is greater than or equal to 9. Kovalev and Volchenkov are a 7. So a 15 for Beliski. That'll be a shot 2 against Elliott. 71 on a shot 2. That'll be a save made. Elliott will hold on. He'll get the face-off. We'll take that face-off to the right of Elliott. Still +2 to Anaheim. But a +6 will pull that over to Kovalev for Ottawa. And we're off and running once again. That'll get passed over to Michalik. Takeaway if the left wing's take is greater than or equal to 2. Beliski is a 2, so he will take that puck away for Anaheim. Passing over to Whitney. Takeaway if the center's take. There is no center right now. A 5 on the power play. That'll be a shot 2 against Elliott. And a 21 on a shot 2. That's a rebound. Offensive left wing versus defensive right D. Home team for Beliski. That'll be a 16. That'll be a shot 3 against Elliott. A 36 on a shot 3. Another rebound chance. Visiting left D, that'll go over to Karkner. 18:40 to play in the period. That'll get passed over to the right defenseman. That is Volchenkov. Forced dumping if the right wing's defense is greater than or equal to 7. Parry's a 2. A 4 shorthanded will be a shot 0 against Jaguar. 20 is a rebound chance. Home left defenseman, that is Niedermeyer with that. And the penalty is over. And the penalty is over for Ottawa. That'll get passed up to Perry. Penalty if the left wing's penalty is greater than or equal to 5. Michalik is a 1. 30. Perry will make a pass, as he's going to send that over to Niedermeyer, just in time for us to have our first round of line changes. Oop. Niedermeyer will be the last one off the ice as he's still got the puck. He's going to make a move with it before he gets off the ice. Okay. Niedermeyer will send that up to Koivu. Then he'll get off the ice. Forced dumping if the lefty's defense is greater than or equal to 5. Phillips is a 5. Phillips is a 4. A 1 for Koivu. That's going to be a shot 5 against Elliott. And a 5 and score! Saku Koivu giving the Ducks a 3-2 lead here at home. Arena cheers. Yay! That'll be from Wisniewski. And Ryan. As the Ducks now take a 3-2 lead against Ottawa here in the third period. Still in the early stages of it. Faceoffs are still +1 to Anaheim. And +1 will pull it over to Koivu. We'll make it a tie, but the tiebreaker says it goes to the home team, so that's Koivu for the Ducks. And we're off once again. That'll get passed over to Eminger. Loose puck if the center's hit is greater than or equal to 1. Kelly's a 2. He'll knock that puck loose into a loose puck situation. Offensive center, Koivu will pick that up. 17:20 to play. Passing it over to Ryan. Forced dumping if the center's defense is greater than or equal to 8. Kelly's a 3. 24 for Ryan. That'll be a shot 1 against Elliott. 17 on a shot 1 is a rebound chance. Offensive right D versus defensive right D +1. Because of home team, that'll be Eminger with an 8. That's a shot 4 on Elliott. 68 on a shot 4. Save made by Elliott. He'll smother that, get the face-off. We'll take that face-off to the left of Elliott. Face-offs are still +1 to Anaheim. And a +6 will pull that over to route 2 for Ottawa, and we're off here in the third period. That'll get passed over to Phillips. Penalty if the right wing's penalty is greater than or equal to 2. Ryan is a 3. 22, he'll make a pass, which means we'll check Ryan's penalty rating. That's a 26, which is just barely enough. He'll go off on a minor penalty. He'll go off for roughing. And I don't play with injuries, which means now Ottawa is on the power play. So I'll bring my green marker in as the Senators are looking to tie the game. Face-offs right now remain +1 to Anaheim, as we'll bring that face-off to the right of Giguere. That'll go to Koivu, the home team, and we're off. Passed over to Eminger. Force dumping if the left wing's defense, if lefty's defense is greater than or equal to 6. Phillips is a 4. So at 36, that'll get sent the length of the ice. And that'll be Alfredson tracking that down for Ottawa. 16:20 to play. Passing over to Phillips. Loose puck if the center's hit is greater than or equal to 3. Koivu's a 2. 27 on the power play. That's going to be a pass. He'll move that over to Campoli. And we've got line changes. Campoli will, of course, make his move and then get off the ice with the puck. All right, he will pass that up to Foligno. Takeaway if the right wing's take is greater than or equal to 6. There is no right wing right now. A 23 on the power play. That'll be a pass for Foligno, as he'll move that over to Spezza. 15:40 to play. Passing over to Shannon. Penalty if the left wing's penalty is greater than or equal to 3. Sexton is 1. Sexton is a 1. That'll be a shot 0, though, on Giguere. 75 on a shot 1. That'll be a save made. Giguere will freeze it, get the face-off. We'll check the penalty on Sexton. That's a 16. He'll be going off on a minor penalty. He'll be going off for hooking, which means now the Senators have a golden opportunity to get something out of this power play. The 5-on-4 is about to be over, but now the Senators have the 5-on-3. Senators are going to have 2 chances at a 5-on-3 power play with a +4 face-off advantage. Ottawa should be able to do something with this. Marchand is going to get kicked out, which means one of the defensemen looks like they're going to have to come up and take the draw, so another +9 to Ottawa. +2 is not nearly enough to pull it over to anybody for Anaheim, so that'll be Spezza with it. Ticking off time. That'll get passed over to Kuba. Takeaway if the lefty's take is greater than or equal to 5. Brookbank is a 2. A 30, that's going to be a pass. That'll move over to Carlson. 5, the penalty on Sexton is over. Actually, I think he was the one who just took the penalty. Yeah. So the earlier penalty is over. Ottawa's still with a 5-on-4 advantage, though. That's going up to Shannon. Takeaway if the lefty's take is greater than or equal to 8. Brookbank is a 2. 20 is going to be a giveaway. No break for the left wing, and instead that puck's going to sail out of play. We'll get a face-off. As Hockey Unreal is first to join us here at the Honda Center in Anaheim. And yes, indeed, this is a rematch of the 2007 Stanley Cup Final. Currently, Anaheim leading 3-2 to start here in the earlier stages of the third period. Face-offs are +4 to Ottawa, and +4 brings it up to even, but the tie says says home team wins, so Carlson has it for Ottawa. Ticking off time. That'll get passed up to the center, Spezza. Force dumping if the center's defense is greater than or equal to 5. Marchand is a 3. 27 is going to be a giveaway. No break for the right wing. That'll be Solani with it for Anaheim. 14:20 to play. Passing over to Marchand. Interception if the lefty and right D's defense greater than or equal to 10. Kuba and Carlson are a 7. A 9 is going to be a shot 1 against Elliott. 44 on a shot 1. And Elliott's going to have to make a shorthanded save. He'll get the whistle and the face-off. As we'll take that face-off to the right of Elliott for Ottawa. Defensive zone draw for the Senators, which Anaheim will win. And in the offensive zone, Marchand with it. just in time for us to have another set of line changes. As Anaheim looking to make something happen here shorthanded, or at least make sure Ottawa can't do anything with what they had turning into a 5-on-3 power play. Okay, we'll get started on the play here. That'll get passed over to Whitney. Takeaway if the right D's take is greater than or equal to 5 or 3. Volchenkov is a 2.39. That'll get sent the length of the ice. And that'll be Neal tracking that down for Ottawa. Penalty is now over as the arena gives Anaheim a standing ovation on a great penalty kill, making sure Ottawa stays off the board. That'll get passed over to... Actually, it's theoretically a left wing pass with the loose puck. If the right wing hit is greater than or equal to 5, Brown is a 5, so he's going to jar that puck loose. And in a loose puck, we'll have a face-off. And as usual, I don't play with injuries. So that'll be a stoppage of play as the puck sails into the bench. Face-offs are +1 to Ottawa. And a +4 will pull that over to Chipchura, and we're off once again. That'll get passed down to Niedermeyer. Penalty if the right wing's penalty is greater than or equal to 1. Neal is an 8. Wow, he is a very nasty penalty player. 36 is an assist chance for Niedermeyer, though. That's going up to Brown on a 23. 23, that's a shot 2 against Elliott. A 12 and a rebound. Offensive right D versus defensive left wing +1. That'll go to Whitney with a 20 on 20. That's a shot 1 on Elliott. And a 100 and goes out of play. We'll still get the whistle. It's checking on Neal's penalty, though. The penalty is a 30, which means Neal's going off for 2 minutes. He will go off for holding. As Anaheim looking to extend the lead. In case you're wondering, Hockey Unreal, I use the green block here as an indicator on the clock of when the penalty is over. It might be a little bit hard to see, but that's what those blocks are for. I had a yellow pawn on the board too when Ottawa had their extended power play, just so I can mark when both penalties would be over. Just in case you're wondering what the layout is. Face-offs are still +1 to Ottawa, and a +1 in the home win. We'll pull that over to Chipchura, and the Anaheim trying to take advantage of another power play. That'll get passed over to Niedermeyer. Forced dump in if the right wing's defense. Never mind, there's no right wing right now. 28 for Niedermeyer. He's going to make a pass on the power play. I was about to read from the wrong column. That'll go over to Whitney. 12:40 to play. That'll get passed up to Marchand. Loose puck if the center's hit is greater than or equal to 8. Reagan is a 3. 32. That'll be a pass for Marchand as they're looking to make something happen. That'll move over to Chipchura. Passing right back to Marchand. Penalty if the right D's penalty is greater than or equal to 6. Karkner is a 6. We'll check the shot first. 9 is going to be a shot 2 against Elliott. 45 on a shot 2, and Elliott makes the save. He'll get the face-off, but we'll have to check the penalty on Karkner. A 29 says we are going to have another minor penalty, as Karkner is now going off for high sticking. As now it's Anaheim's turn to have the 5-on-3 advantage, which is what brings the yellow pawn back in shot. And we've got another face-off to the right of Reagan, or to the right of Elliott here. Ottawa definitely needs to pick up their discipline in this one, though. They can't be playing this undisciplined hockey and expect to get too far. In fact, I'm just going to check the standings here real quick because I'm curious. Ottawa is not at the top of the division. I forgot to resort this when I did the update last night, but they are currently in second place in the Northeast Division behind the Sabres. As for Anaheim, they're second from the bottom in the Pacific Division. They've got 31 points. Ottawa definitely needs to step up their... Surprisingly, the Senators and the Ducks are only 2 points difference between each other, but in very different places in the division. Anywho, all of that aside, face-offs are back to being +1 to Ottawa. And a +6, we'll pull that over to Brown for Anaheim, and we're off once again into another round of line changes. All right, Brown with the puck for Anaheim as the Ducks are trying to do something with the 5-on-3. That'll get passed down to Eminger. Force dumping at the left wing defense. There is no left wing right now. 6, that'll be a shot 1 on Elliott. 26 on a shot 1, that's a rebound chance. Offensive right wing versus defensive left D +3. Even without the +3, that'll come over to Kuba. 11:40 to play. Passing up to, he's going to hold on to that himself. Force dumping if the right D defense greater than or equal to 4. Eminger is a force. That puck will get dumped in. And on a loose puck, offensive right D +4 versus defensive left wing. That'll come back to Carlson. First penalty is over for Ottawa. So a 5-on-4 power play. That'll get passed up to Fisher. Interception if the left D and right D defense greater than or equal to 11. They're an 8. 30. That's going to be a pass. And that'll actually just sail out of play, and we'll get a face-off. When did I get into hockey? I guess I've always had a little bit of a touchy relationship, we'll call it, with tabletop hockey. Now, I do apologize for not answering your question sooner, Hockey Unreal, but when I get into these games, especially when I get into hockey, I generally try not to interact with chat. I generally don't interact with chat until I get a stoppage, especially since I want to keep the flow going. It'll be similar to how I do things in baseball, but there I've got the problem with Digital Diamond in baseball, where I'll only interact with chat every half inning. So it's more of a problem, more of a thing of keeping up the rhythm. So do rest assured that at least with hockey, I see the message right away, but I won't answer it right away. Anyway, that's like ramble aside. I've always been into tabletop hockey. I haven't always been into tabletop hockey. I got into it a couple of years ago, but I've always had a little bit of a... No apology needed, it's all good. Setting up to roll out some Hockey Blast. Nice! So I've always had a little bit of a touchy relationship with tabletop hockey. I did get into it with APA, but APA was always one of those games that was really, for me at least, kind of a sprawling mess, and I never really did make too much sense of it. Where I liked Strat and Inside the Crease a little bit more, but Inside the Crease also had the problem of being a very long game to play. Strat, as you might see if you're following along with the replay, follows fairly quickly. So, it actually plays fairly quickly. Whereas even now I'm starting to get my time down with Inside the Crease, it doesn't play, at least a full game doesn't play as quickly as it did. And when I was first starting to set up my sports replays earlier this year, I wanted to see if there was a way I could shorten Inside the Crease, because I knew if I did Inside the Crease, I wasn't going to be able to play a full game, especially if I worked weeknights in as part of those replays. So that's where I did a little bit of testing with some third period videos where I would have ChatGPT. I'd type in, hey, I need this game situation for such and such teams. ChatGPT would spit out a game situation for the start of the third period, and that's what I use to get into these games. So hopefully that little bit of word salad makes sense on everything and kind of answers the ramble of how I got into tabletop hockey. So coming back to our face-off after that puck sailed out of play, we'll take that face-off at neutral ice. Face-offs are +2 to Ottawa. And a +3 is enough to pull that over to Bolesky for Anaheim, and we're off and running once again. That will go over to Wisniewski. Takeaway if the right wing's take is greater than or equal to 1. There is no right wing right now, so a 12 on the power play. That'll be a shot 0 on Elliott. 58 is going to be Elliott smothering that for the face-off. An express version of Inside the Crease would be nice if one could be made. Yeah, I'd probably give that a pretty good look, but I don't know though. This actually seems to be a very realistic game. Granted, I don't keep stats with these games, because I like to keep the flow moving along. And to me, it's not as conducive as it would be with something like baseball, where you've got your score sheets where you can keep track of everything that way. I find the stat keeping in hockey slows me down a little bit. So it's in the name of speed. I'll probably end up keeping stats in some way in the playoffs, though I'm not sure how I'm going to do that yet. I might not get to a Conn Smythe winner in the playoffs. I'll have to give that some thought. Anywho, we've got 2 shifts left on the penalty. Faceoffs are +2 to Ottawa. That's not enough to pull it over to Ottawa. Brown with it, though, on a defensive zone win. Or an offensive zone win. Passed over to Bolesky. Forced dumping if the right D's defense is greater than or equal to 7. Carlson is a 3. 32 on the power play. That's going to be a pass. And that'll move over to Wisniewski. Penalty is over, as now the fans at the Honda Center are not happy that Anaheim couldn't do anything with their extended power play. That'll get passed over to Eminger. Loose puck if the center's hit is greater than or equal to 2. Fisher is going to rock Eminger, and that'll jar the puck loose. And that'll be the offensive right D. Eminger somehow gets it right back after getting his block knocked off. And we've got another round of line changes. Eminger still circling around with the puck, letting everybody complete their line changes. There we are. That'll get passed over to Lupul. Takeaway if the center right D's take is greater than or equal to 7. It's a 2, is Volchenkov. 31. That'll be a giveaway. No break for the center. Kelly in control of that for Ottawa. 9:40 to play. That'll get passed over to Ruutu. Interception if the lefty and right D's defense is greater than or equal to 5. Never mind, they're a 7. And that'll actually be Perry making that interception, as Brookbank got a stick on it. 9:20 to play. That'll get passed over to Lupul. Takeaway if the right D's take is greater than or equal to 5. Volchenkov is a 2. 33 is going to be a giveaway for Lupul. Left wing break greater than or equal to 7. Ruutu is 5 or 3. Getzlav is a 3. He will take that puck away for Anaheim. And my OBS decide. Okay, had to wait for OBS to blip on me a little bit. Ticking off time. Passing over to Perry. Loose puck if the left wing's hit is greater than or equal to 3. Ruutu's a 4. Offensive left D versus defensive right D. Because of home, Brookbank will have that for Anaheim. Passing up to Lupul. Takeaway if the right wing's take is greater than or equal to 5. Alfredson is a 5. He will take that away. And we've got another set of line changes. Alfredson will make his move with the puck, and then he'll get off the ice. That'll get passed over to Phillips. Penalty if the right wing penalty is greater than or equal to 4. Ryan's a 3. A 1, though, is going to be a shot 5 against Jaguar. And a 4, and score! Chris Phillips tying the game for the Senators, as it is now 3-all here in the third. Arena groans. Ugh. We'll flip over cards to see if we can get assists out of that. That was Phillips who scored, so no assist on that. Somehow we got 2 left D cards, so that was an unassisted goal. We are tied at 3 here in the third. And as the players move back to center ice, once I get my paper copy of the ticker, I will mention, I also need to look up where we're going to be. So bear with me just a second. Where are you? We will be at Bridgestone Arena in Nashville, Tennessee later this afternoon, as we will get our first look at the Nashville Predators on the board. They will be taking on the Columbus Blue Jackets. So that'll be later this afternoon, probably after Mystical Munchies goes up, but let's see how the day plays out first. As we are tied at 3 here, as we are tied at 3, past the halfway point of the third period, Giguère has gone cold on the Ducks. Not a good thing if you're a fan of Anaheim. I'm just going to bring the deck in now, the other half of the deck in now, so I don't have to worry about it later. Okay, face-offs are +1 to Ottawa, but a +4 will pull that over to Koivu. And now with the game tied, we are away for Anaheim. That'll get passed over to Niedermeyer. Loose puck of the right D's hit is greater than or equal to 3. Campoli is a 4. He'll knock that puck loose. Visiting center, that'll be Spezza with the puck. 7:20 to play. Passing over to Phillips. Loose puck of the right D's hit is greater than or equal to 5. Boynton is a 3. 33, he'll make a pass. And that'll move back up to Spezza. 7 minutes to play here in the third. That'll get passed to Phillips. Penalty if the right D's penalty is greater than or equal to 3. Boynton is a 5. 12 will check the shot first. That'll be a pass. That'll get touched up. And we'll check on Boynton's penalty. That's a 19. He's going for 2 minutes in the sin bin. He will be going off for holding. And now Ottawa looking to take the lead here in this game, as we'll take that face-off to the left of Giguère. Face-offs are now +6 to Ottawa, which a +1 is hardly enough to pull that over. Alfredson will have that for the Senators. That'll get passed over to Foligno. Loose puck of the left wing's hit is greater than or equal to 2. Sexton is a 2. That puck's going to get knocked loose. Offensive right D versus defensive right D +1. Even without the +1, Whitney will have that. 6:20 to play. That'll get passed up to Sexton. Penalty if the right D's penalty is greater than or equal to 7. Campoli is a 1. And a 38 that'll get sent the length of the ice and cleared. And that will be Phillips moving back to track that one down for Ottawa. 6 minutes to play, and we've got another round of line changes coming up. There we are. Phillips with it for Ottawa. That'll get passed over to Carlson. Penalty if the left wing's penalty is greater than or equal to 4. Chipchura is a 4. We're getting chippy here. A 2, though, is going to be a shot 3 against Giguère. A 10 on a shot 3. Score! Erik Karlsson giving the Senators the lead. That will cancel the penalty and end the power play. Arena groans. Ugh. As Carlson now gives the Senators the lead. As a house rule, if I can follow the flow of play, I'll credit assist that way. In this case, I can. Phillips had the puck first. So then we'll flip over a card to get an assist. And Shannon. As the Senators now open up a 4-3 lead here. Hang on. As the Senators now open up a 4-3 lead here in the third with 6 minutes left to play in the third. Anaheim going to need the equalizer, and soon. Face-offs are +1 to Ottawa. And a +7 will definitely pull that over to Chipchura, and we're off and running. That'll get passed over to Brookbank. Takeaway if the right wing's take is greater than or equal to 3. Shannon's a 4. He'll take that puck away. 5:20 to play. That'll get passed over to Carlson. Penalty if any defender's penalty is greater than or equal to 20. Looks like Eminger will take that as a 29. 39 is going to be an assist chance. Setting up the left wing, that's Chichu, with a 13. That'll be a shot 2 against Giguère. A 61 on shot 2. That'll be a save made. Giguère will hold on for the face-off. We're checking Eminger's penalty first. That'll be a 14. Eminger will go off for 2 minutes for roughing. Ducks are getting chippy, maybe getting a little bit frustrated here. As that face-off will come to the left of Giguère. Face-offs are They're actually +3 to Anaheim because Chipchura is actually a center, but he's a winger on the line sheet I use to put my lines together. A +3 with visitor. We'll pull that over to Carlson for Ottawa, though. And we're off. That'll go up to Reagan. Loose puck if the left wing's hit is greater than or equal to 4. Chipchura is a 2. A 21 on the power play. That'll be a shot 1 against Jaguar. A 1 on a shot 1. Score! Peter Reagan wasting no time getting another power play tally for the Senators, as that one makes it 5-3 Ottawa. Arena groans. Ugh. Let's see, that was from Carlson. And we'll flip over a card to get an assist. Reagan was the one who scored, so never mind about that. And we'll do everything that involves a penalty, involves getting recovered from a penalty. Both of these teams need to start playing more disciplined hockey, but it's coming back to haunt Anaheim more. Face-offs are back to being +1 to Ottawa. And a +9 will pull that over to Chipchura, and we're off and running. The Ducks need 2 with less than 5 minutes to go in the third. That'll get passed over to Niedermeyer. Loose puck if the right wing's hit is greater than or equal to 1. Shannon is a 2. He'll knock that puck loose. And offensive left D versus defensive left D +1. Even without the +1, Niedermeyer will have that. 4:20 to play as that comes back over to Boynton. Takeaway if the lefty's take is greater than or equal to 3. Phillips is a 3. He will take that puck away. And we've got line changes with 4 minutes to go here in the third. Okay, Phillips with the puck now for Ottawa. That'll get passed over to Volchenkov. He'll get off the ice. Loose puck if the lefty's hit is greater than or equal to 6. Wisniewski's a 3. 15 for Volchenkov. He's going to make a pass. And that'll move up to Neal. 3:40 to play. Passing over to Volchenkov. Takeaway if the lefty's take is greater than or equal to 5. Bolesky's a 2. A number 2, that's a shot 3 on Jaguar. A 9 on a shot 3, and score! Anton Volchenkov, as the Senators are beginning to tee off here on the Ducks, 6-3. Arena groans. Ugh. Let's see, that was from Neal. And Michalik. You get that spelled correctly. There we go. As the Senators are just teeing off on the Ducks at this point, we may end up seeing the hook for Jaguar soon. As Jaguar doesn't seem to be able to stop anything right now. But the Ducks are going to keep him in there anyway. Actually, yeah, they'll leave him in there. Face-offs are +2 to Ottawa, which will be enough to pull that over to Kuba. And we're off. That'll get passed over to Volchenkov. Center interception if the center and left wing's defense is greater than or equal to 11. They're a 4. A 19. He's going to make a pass as the Senators now want to start chewing up clock. That'll go to Fisher. Passing over to Michalik. Force dumping if the right wing's defense is greater than or equal to 1. Brown is a 2. That puck will get dumped in. Puck battle, offensive right wing +3 versus defensive left D. The +3 is enough to pull that over to Neal. 2:40 to play. That'll get passed down to Volchenkov. Force dumping if the lefty's defense is greater than or equal to 4. Wisniewski's a 4. So we'll have a loose puck, and that'll be Bolesky pulling that in for Anaheim. 2:20 to play. Passing over to, I'm going to butcher this pronunciation, Nokalainen. Interception if the lefty and right D's defense is greater than or equal to 6. They're an 8. And that will be Fisher making that interception. 2 minutes left in the third period. And yes, indeed, what a third period collapse by Anaheim. We came into this game tied at 2. Anaheim got the first goal. Then the Senators have scored 4 straight. Have scored 4 unanswered. That'll go over to Kovalev. Takeaway if the lefties' take is greater than or equal to 7. Brookbank is a 2. An 8 is going to be a shot 2 against Jaguar. A 36 on a shot 2. That's a rebound chance. Defensive right wing over to Perry. He will have that. 140 to play here in the third. Passing over to Brookbank. Takeaway if the center's take is greater than or equal to 6. Fisher is a 3. 27 is going to be a pass. And that'll move up to Getzlaff. 120 left to play. Passing over to Perry. Forced dumping if the lefty's defense is greater than or equal to 8. Karkner's a 4. A 25. That'll be a giveaway. Left wing break greater than or equal to 8. Rutu is a 3. He will have that puck. 1 minute left in the period. 1 minute as the PA announcer blasts out. That'll get passed over to Kovalev. Forced dump in if the right wing's defense is greater than or equal to 5. Perry's a 2. 23 for Kovalev. That's going to be a pass. That'll move over to Fisher. 40 seconds left in the game. Passing back to Kovalev. Forced dump in if the left wing's defense is greater than or equal to 6. Lupul is a 2. 37. That's a great pass by Kovalev. Who's he setting up with it? Back to Fisher with a 32. That'll be a shot 2 against Jaguar. 57 on a shot 2. And save made by Jaguar. He'll hold on for the face-off. Hopefully Hockey Unreal, you're enjoying the action of the 2000 of not just this game, but the entire replay that I've been doing so far on the channel. Face-offs are +1 to Ottawa. That'll go over to Kovalev. 20 seconds left in the third. That'll get passed over to Fisher. Takeaway if the center's take is greater than or equal to 7. Getzlaff is a 3. 27 is going to be a giveaway. No break for the right wing. No break for Perry. And yes, that's my horrible goal horn, but more importantly, that's the end of the game. Almost a mercy killing at this point for the Ducks, as the Senators will take that one 6-3. Arena groans. Ugh. Sending the fans home very unhappy with this one. I'm just going to update my ticker with this one. Yep, 6-3, Phoenix. And then I'm going to do my usual round of cleanup, where I will interact with chat a little bit more, but we are also getting ready to ask our friends at Final Score at Downey Hockey Downey Games via Final Score Hockey. I'll say it right one of these days. We'll ask them how the rest of the NHL fared in this block. Hoping playoff Halak emerges from Montreal as the season progresses, and that PK gets called up like in real life while Markov manages to stay healthy. Well, let's see if... I'm just looking here. Looks like there's no PK unless you're talking about... Oh, probably PK Subban. Well, Markov... Oh yeah, looks like Markov is one of the defensemen for Montreal. I was just checking my inside the crease lines. I can get at my strat lines, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. But yeah, we'll definitely see how the season unfolds. And in case you're curious, the Canadiens are currently in second to last place right now in the Northeast Division. They've got 25 points. They're near the basement of the division, whereas the Senators, coming off of this win, are now tied with the Sabres for first place in the division. We'll see what Final Score has to say for both teams, however. But we've also got a long way to go before we're even looking at the playoffs. We're not even halfway through the season yet. How do I choose which games to play and which ones to quick sim? So that's a little bit of a complicated question. The way I do it was before the season started, I actually had a feature game selection show where I selected my feature games, and the way I decided that was I wanted to try to balance out team participation on the board if possible, because my first tiebreaker, actually one of my first tiebreakers, I think it's my second tiebreaker is board record, so I wanted to balance it out early in the season. Later in the season, though, I haven't picked my feature games. I picked my feature games through February, I think, because in March, once we get to March in the season, at that point, I want to focus more in on the playoff race. So I'm going to be picking more games that have playoff implications. We'll be picking those on the fly. And everything else gets quick simmed. So essentially my replay structure, the way it works, is I divide the season into schedule blocks, and I'll play one game per 4 days of hockey. So for instance, let me finish putting these cards away, and then I'll come back to my ticker so I can explain it. Hang on. I'm going to have to unplug my iPad for a second so I can hopefully show you this. Let me bring it in fairly close. So, whoops, hang on. That should be a 6, not a 46. Anyway, I don't mark it on the iPad, but it might be a little bit hard to see. But the way we're doing it essentially is we're looking at we're looking at December 6th right now. So so that's the feature game I picked for the block, and then I fast play the rest of them via Final Score Hockey by Downey Games. So hopefully another ramble helped answer that question. So what it boils down to is, essentially what the answer boils down to is early in the season, I balance out board participation because I use it as a tiebreaker. Later in the season, I focus on the playoffs. And the highly convenient thing about having the scoreboard handy is now I can use it to track shootout results in case I need to track shootouts. It makes sense to progress to more and more playoff implications as the postseason nears. That's the idea, and I do my baseball season replays the same way. With football and boxing, which are the other two sports I'm comfortable with doing replays or tournaments on in the case of boxing, it's a little bit easier because with football, the weeks in the season serve as a built-in schedule block, whereas I'll say, depending on the system I'm doing, I'll say, okay, I'm going to play one game per week in this system, then I'll fast play the rest. Whereas in boxing, one bout serves as a schedule block, and there you go. I don't need to fast play anything there. Anyway, now it's time to ask our friends at Final Score Hockey by Downey Games how the rest of the NHL fared. The way I do that is I've got two dice for each team that I'll be rolling APA style. Blue is always going to be for the away team. Yellow is always going to be for the home team. I'll walk through this first game nice and slowly so you can see how everything works. Looking at December 6th, we have got the Red Wings and the Rangers. Each team is assigned a rating. So in this case, the Red Wings are an H on their final offense. There's some adjustments, and I think I walk through how you build the ticker for these probably in that same feature game selection show. So in this case, the Red Wings are an H. They rolled a 66 on their dice, which brings me down to the chart here for Final Score Hockey, and I see that is 5. So I'll just enter that directly in my ticker in Excel on my iPad. I've got my formulas set up that I can maintain everything through that. The Rangers rolled a J53. In this case, that is 4. So that means we've got a pressure situation for the Rangers. That brings me to the pressure chart, where I'll use the pressure rating for each team. In this case, the Rangers are an E. The Rangers roll a 25, which in this case means there's no X there. So that means the Rangers weren't able to score. And in this case, the Red Wings will win this game 5-4. Now, if they would have rolled something that would have had an X in the column, that means there would have been a chance to score, which means then I'd consult the other colored dice for the Red Wings. So let's say that was a 50, actually a 55 might do it at E. No, actually it doesn't do it. A 65 will, though. So let's say the Rangers instead rolled an E65. There's an X there in that column. Whereas if the Red Wings were a C on pressure, the C25 would mean they wouldn't score. I'll walk through how overtime and shootouts work when we actually have them pop up here during the ticker. Anyway, that's it for that game. Let's go to the Devils and the Sabres next. Devils with an F41, that is 2. Sabres M33, that is 3. So we've got another pressure situation for the Devils. The Devils are a C under pressure. A 35, though, won't let the Devils do anything with that, so the Sabres will get that win 3-2. Oilers and the Panthers. Oilers, I-44 is 3. Panthers, D63, that is also 3. So we've got pressure situations all around. Both teams are an E under pressure. Let's see, an E42 for the Oilers won't do anything. Neither will an E51 for the Panthers, which means we've got overtime. And in overtime, we consult the overtime chart, which we're looking for X's. So depending on the team's offense rating, we consult the overtime chart. And if there's an X, it means they scored in overtime and they won. So we'll consult for the Panthers first. They're a D. Panthers with a D63. We see an X in that column, which means they scored. So the Panthers will get that win 4-3 in overtime. And we still have shootouts to come, so we'll get to those as they become relevant. Flames and the Kings. Flames, D35 is 2. Kings, M45, that is 4. The Kings will win that one 4-2. We only go to the pressure chart if the teams are either tied or separated by 1 goal. So if they're separated by 1 or fewer goals. Flyers and the Canadiens. This is December 7th. Flyers, I-26 is 2. Canadiens, J34, that is 3. That's a pressure situation for the Flyers. The Flyers are a D under pressure. A D54 won't let the Flyers do anything with that. The Canadiens will win 3-2. Wild and the Coyotes. Wild, E45, that is 2. Coyotes, H34, that is 3. That's a pressure situation for the Wild. The Wild are an E under pressure. But a 32 won't let them do anything with it. The Coyotes will win 3-2. Hurricanes and the Penguins. Hurricanes are kind of a surprise in this replay. They won't be here, though. F11 for the Hurricanes is 0. Penguins, K15, that is 2, and the Penguins will win that one 2-0. Avalanche and the Blues are both I's. Habs bargaining their way out of the Northeast basement. Well, we'll see how they hold up to that. Avalanche and the Blues are both I's. Whoa, okay. Avalanche, that roll 5. Blues within 11 get 0. That will be a win for the Avalanche, 5-0. Capitals and the Lightning. Okay, this is going to be an offensive showdown, it looks like. Capitals, N66 is 9. Lightning, I-64 is 5. And in a game where the goalies forgot how to play, the Capitals win that one 9-5. Thrashers and the Maple Leafs. Thrashers, I-46, that is 3. Maple Leafs, F-36, that is also 3. Pressure situations all around. Both teams are an E under pressure. Thrashers roll a 64. That gives them a chance to score. Maple Leafs with a 44 can't stop them. The Thrashers will take the lead. Now the Maple Leafs have to get the equalizer with their net empty. But a 13 won't let them get anywhere near that. The Thrashers will win that one 4-3. December 8th coming up now. Stars and the Ducks are both eyes. Whoa, okay. Stars roll a 65, roll a 66, that is 5. Ducks roll a 65, that is also 5. Pressure situations all around. Both teams are E's under pressure. A 62 for the Stars might let them score. A 22 won't let the Ducks stop them. The Stars take the lead. And now the Ducks have to get the equalizer with their net empty. A 13, though, won't get anywhere near that. The Stars will take that one 6-5. Canucks and the Predators. We'll see the Predators on the board later this afternoon. Canucks. J56, that is 4. Predators. K36, that is 3. Pressure situation for the Predators, they are a C under pressure. A C63 under pressure might let them score. Canucks are a B34. They can't stop the Predators, which means we've got a tie game and we're going to overtime. Predators with a chance to win first. Predators with a K13 won't win. Canucks with a J52. That will get it done for the Canucks. They will take that one 5-4 in overtime. Canadiens and the Senators. Canadiens, F52 is 3. Senators, J54, that is 4. Pressure situation for the Canadiens, they are an E under pressure. But a 24 won't let the Canadiens do anything with it. The Senators will take that win 4-3. Islanders and the Flyers. Islanders, F31. F31 is 2. Flyers, H32. That is also 2. Pressure situations all around. Islanders are an E. Flyers are a D. An E65 might let the Islanders score. Flyers with a D42 can't stop them. The Islanders will take the lead. And now the Flyers need to get the equalizer with their net empty. But a D24... Yeah, D24 won't let them do anything with that, so the Islanders will take that win 3-2. And Ottawa is going to be very hard to catch at this rate. Buffalo is staying with them. Speaking of Buffalo, we've got the Capitals and the Sabres. Capitals, M41 is 3. Sabres, K23. That's a big game, so this is something new. So we've got a BG column, which means big game. So that means we come over to the big game chart, and we're rolling for the modifier here. So I'm going to keep that roll to the side, and we'll see what Buffalo can do with this big game. A roll of a 42 means we get a +1, so that means we move one column over to the right. So they were a K, which means now the Sabres are rolling on column L. A 14, though, is likely to be a dud. That is 1. The Capitals will win that one 3-1. This is December 9th. Panthers and the Blue Jackets. Panthers, I-35 is 3. Blue Jackets, G-33, that is 2. Pressure situation for the Blue Jackets. Both teams are an E under pressure. Blue Jackets with a 23, though, can't do anything with it. The Panthers will get that win 3-2. Thrashers and the Flames. Thrashers, H33, that is 2. Flames, they were H33 is still 2. Flames, F32, that is also 2. Pressure situations all around. Thrashers are an E, Flames are a D. An E55 won't do anything for the Thrashers, but a D63 for the Flames might let them score. Thrashers need to stop them. That's a 32. They can't. The Flames will score, and they'll win that one 3-2 late in the third. Rangers and the Blackhawks in original 6 action. Rangers wanted that game. E64, that is 4. Blackhawks, O22. O22 is 3. Blackhawks with a pressure situation. Blackhawks are a B under pressure. A 14, though, won't let the Blackhawks do anything with their great pressure rating. The Rangers will win 4-3. Wild and the Avalanche. As that die wants to settle. Wild, F42, that is 2. Avalanche, J53, that is 4. The Avalanche will take that win 4-2. Blues and the Red Wings. Blues, F25 is 2. Red Wings, K33, that is 3. Pressure situation for the Blues. The Blues are a D under pressure. A 46 won't let the Blues do anything with it. The Red Wings will win 3-2. Hurricanes and the Devils. Hurricanes, F21, that is 1. Devils, H66 is going to be a lot more than 1. That's 5. The Devils will win that one 5-1. Kings and the Sharks. Kings, G13 is 1. Sharks, N62, that is 6. And the Sharks will win that one 6-1. Oilers and the Lightning. Oilers, G52, that is 3. Lightning, E33, that's 2. Pressure situation for the Lightning. The Lightning are an E under pressure. And a 65 might let the Lightning score. Oilers with an E33 can't stop them, which means we've got a tie game and we're headed to overtime. Lightning with a chance to win first. An E54, ooh, just misses, but the Lightning can't get it done. The Oilers with a G33, they can't get it done either, which means now we have our first shootout of the block. So each team is also rated for shootouts, and that's where the scoreboard comes in, because I can track which team scores over the rounds of the shootout. And there is a separate shootout chart. You might have seen it earlier when I was showing you how the pressure chart works. The shootout chart is over here. Both teams are a C in the shootout, round 1. They want 42 or higher to score, which neither team will get, round 2. The Lightning will score, actually the Oilers will score, the Lightning will not. Round 3. If the Oilers score here, if the Lightning don't, it's over. The Oilers won't score, the Lightning will. So we've got round 4. Next unanswered goal wins it. Neither team scores there, round 5. The Lightning will get that last goal as they'll take that win 4-3 in a shootout. Last up, we've got the Islanders and the Maple Leafs. Islanders, H16, that is 2. Maple Leafs, E63, that is 3. And we've got a pressure situation for the Islanders. Both teams are E's under pressure. A 45 for the... Actually, that's an 11. That definitely won't do anything for the Islanders. The Maple Leafs will win that one 3-2. And that is it for Block 17. If your team won today, congratulations. If they didn't, there's always this afternoon. This afternoon, I just had the arena. This afternoon, we'll be at Bridgestone Arena in Nashville, Tennessee, as the Columbus Blue Jackets will be in town to play the Nashville Predators. As for what else is coming up on the channel, later this afternoon, probably before that, Mystical Munchies will be uploaded out of the Exquisite Exandria Official Critical Role Cookbook with the entree, fried chicken and coffee bacon gravy. Tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow morning, we will be playing Star Wars The Clone Wars by Z-Man Games. Thank you for watching the video. Please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to turn on notifications so you get my content. Be well. I should also mention that Block 18 will be in Stratomatic Hockey. Be well, stay safe, take care of yourselves and your loved ones, and I'll be back with more videos in the future. Until then, take care everyone. The Ottawa Senators parlayed 4 unanswered goals from a 3-2 deficit early in the third period to win this game 6-3. Once again, take care, and I will see you guys later this afternoon.